Hello YouTube and fellow DC Comic fans, I'm Keith One Shot, and this is my dramatic reading series, and today we will be covering Dark Knight's Metal 3 from DC Comics. We start this story off at the Oblivion Bar, where the Flash has just saved Superman from the Dark Knights. Then, after Kendra Saunders tells Superman where he is, we see that the bar is occupied by what remains of the Justice League. Then, a knight in the bar walks up to Superman and says, "I am Knightmaster, the proprietor." Then, a monkey wearing a trench coat and a hat holds up his glass and says, "And I'm his Uncle Bobo. Here's to the end of the world, boss." Then Aquaman says, "Dr. Fate, Steel, and Mr. Terrific used their connections to Nth Metal to create a portal here, then gathered us after we battled those abominations." Then Superman says, "I don't understand, Aquaman. I've only been gone days, but you look beaten. All of you. And outside? How the hell did this happen?" Then Nightwing walks over and says, "It's simple, Superman. We lost." Then Superman replies, "Nightwing, you look like you've been..." Then Nightwing says, "Through hell. No kidding. We've been fighting without sleep, day in and day out. A team of us tried to take back Gotham, but Barbados and the Dark Knights, they're too powerful." The one called the Murder Machine, he infected Detroit with nano-Alfreds. The one called the Red Death, he created a Speed Force storm in Central City that kills anyone who touches it in seconds. More cities will probably fall by tonight. Every place the Dark Knights conquer, they create those towers of people, living conductors of dark energy." Then Superman says, "Of course, they're trying to create a circuit. They're gonna try to sink the world into the dark. We need to fight them." Then Nightwing says, "Flash tried in Central City, Green Lantern in Coast City, Cyborg went down in the Watchtower. We haven't heard from him in days, and I lost the Teen Titans. Kids, Clark, kids." Then Kendra Saunders stands up and says, "Hey Boy Scout, you need to accept this a lot faster, because every moment, those towers are growing, and if they somehow activate, not to mention, we likely only have minutes before the Dark Knights find us. That was the cost of getting you, a cost I was against." Wonder Woman then says, "Say what you will, but I've been in enough wars to know, we need every good warrior." Then Kendra says, "Wonder Woman, I was fighting wars when you were still a pile of dirt. Now if you had listened to me, back on Black Hawk Island, and given me Batman, instead of protecting him, maybe we'd still have a chance. But these things are killing machines, and now there's nothing we can do to stop Barbados, or them from..." Then Green Arrow and Damian Wayne stab a Nth Metal arrowhead into the table. Then Green Arrow says, "This stops them. Nth Metal, it hurts them. We saw it in Gotham." Then Damian says, "Green Arrow is right. Shame you and your bird goons destroyed all the stuff, Saunders." Then Mr. Terrific says, "Not all of it, Robin." Then Dr. Fate says, "I can sense the last repositories of Nth Metal out there. Steel's hammer, my helmet, and the Plastic Man egg there. It's like the dark energy is creating a link between what little Nth Metal is left and the reactive metals here on Earth." Then Mr. Terrific says, "Fate's right. The egg, it's vibrating. But in patterns, I think. They're coordinates. Here. If I'm correct, one location is deep space, one is near Atlantis, and one points to the center of the multiverse." Then Wonder Woman stands up and says, "The center of the multiverse lies the Rock of Eternity. Alright then, if Nth Metal is what we need to kill these things, then we break into teams. One metal-linked ally on each squad. Green Lantern, you and Mr. Terrific take the Plastic Man egg to the location in space. Arthur, Atlantis is..." Then Aquaman says, "That location is not accessible." Then Hal Jordan shouts, "What the hell are you talking about, not accessible? This is world-ending stuff. Get your head out of the water. I just watched my family get swallowed by shadows." Then Aquaman shouts, "And one of those things took Mara. You still know nothing of the secrets of the sea." Then, as Mr. Terrific checks the Plastic Man egg, he tells the rest of the team, "What? There's another set of coordinates. They're coming through more strongly than the rest. The location is... but it doesn't make sense." Then Diana says, "Where is it?" Then Mr. Terrific says, "It's nowhere. The coordinates are negative. They point to darkness." Then Superman says, "The dark multiverse. I knew it. It's Batman. He's the key. We need to get him. Listen, I fought Barbados in Life After Life, and in the last few, Batman, I could feel him calling out to me through the dark. The final time, in Smallville, he said something that didn't track." Then Kendra says, "Wait, you want to go into the dark multiverse because of something Batman said in a dream. Open your eyes. Barbados gives you hope? Just to crush you harder. It's what happened to Carter. It's all a trap. I promise you. With Barbados, all roads lead back to... Then Superman says, don't even. Then Superman looks at Wonder Woman as he says, when we started out, Wonder Woman, Batman, and I had a code for the direst situations. A private SOS. The code was an alphabetical trinity. He said carpe diem. Diana, that could mean... Then Diana tells Superman, I know what it could mean, but we have real assets to go after here. The dark multiverse is a total unknown, and... Then Nightwing says, I felt it too. I felt him reaching out, trying to say something. Then Superman replies, and what do you say, Nightwing? You know him as well as anyone. Then Nightwing says, I say we fight. Then suddenly, Damian cracks Nightwing in the face as he shouts, you bastard! Then Nightwing says, I'm sorry, Robin. I love him just like I love you. I always thought I was a balance to his darkness. Now seeing his demons in the flesh, what they did to us on their worlds, and the one who laughs? Then, as Green Arrow does his best to hold him back, Damian shouts, they're not him. They're his worst fears, and he's trapped out there, with them. Superman's right. We need to go get my father. Then Nightwing says, no we don't. We save him by doing what he'd want us to do. Fight. Here and now. Besides, we don't have enough allies with metal connections. We have 3. Dr. Fate, Steel, and Plastic Egg. We need 4. Look around. No one is magically gonna... Then suddenly, a Nightmare Robin leaps at Nightwing and Damian. Then, out of nowhere, a sword goes flying through the Nightmare Robin, impaling him into the wall. We then see that the person who threw the sword is none other than Deathstroke the Terminator. Slade then walks over to Nightwing and says, this job, it'd pay, right? Then Nightwing says, Deathstroke. Then Wonder Woman tells Nightwing, he was the last one through. His armor, his sword, they're made of promethium. He has a connection. He can... Then Detective Chimp says, and that's last call. Then Wonder Woman shouts, they found us. Whatever we're doing, we need to do it now. Then Superman says, please, I'm telling you, Batman called to me, and the metals they treated him with. He could even be the key to their plan. The power source Barbados is waiting to activate when these towers get big enough. Look, Barbados is trying to drag us into the dark, and it's winning, damn it. But if its essence is darkness, the fastest way to bring us down is to stop us from hoping, from venturing into the unknown, searching for the light. Our friend might be that light, and he needs us. Now, I have a way to get to the dark multiverse, but I'll need your help, Flash. You too, Steel. Then Flash says, Iris, everyone I care about needs me right now, but I'll help you first. Then Wonder Woman says, any objections? Then Godspeed. Let's do this. Then Damian tells Superman, thank you, Clark. Then Superman says, I'll find him, kiddo. We then hear a loud rumble. Then Dr. Fate says, they're upon us. We must try now. If we focus, we can create portals along the coordinates path. Then Steel shouts, I'll hold it steady. Do it now. Then Dr. Fate opens up a portal. As everyone makes their escape through the portal, Kendra turns around and says to Nightmaster and Detective Chimp, what are you two doing? Come on. Then Detective Chimp says, closing time, Jim. Put it on my tab. Then Nightmaster says, you know, I was in a rock band when I was young, 1,000,000 lives ago. Then Nightmaster picks up his sword and says, the Electrics, my mates and I, we used to say that every night is a battle, fighting against a hostile crowd, in service of the ever-loving spirit of rock and roll. Then Kendra shouts, Nightmaster, they're here, and they'll kill you. Then Nightmaster says, this was the first place I played. Now I run it. I've served every hero in the universe. It's been nice, but I haven't had a battle in a while, Kendra. So get the hell out and leave a man to his fate. Then, as Kendra and the rest escape through the portal, we see the Batman who laughs with his Nightmare Robins as he says, Jim, it's been too long. Some hot flesh for the kids and a round of Batman on me. That's a tall glass of just ice. We then go to the sands of Balia with Kendra, Dr. Fate, and Wonder Woman. Then, as Wonder Woman points to a nearby outpost, she tells the others, there's the entrance to the rock. We then go to Space Sector 2685 in the Polaris system, where Hal Jordan and Mr. Terrific are flying with the Plastic Man egg. As the two are flying, Hal Jordan tells Mr. Terrific, "No offense, but I work here, and there's nothing at these coordinates." Then Mr. Terrific tells Hal, "Thanagar was a planet you knew simply was an outpost. We're going to the hidden heart of the Empire, where no human ever has." We then go to the Mariana Trench, where Deathstroke says to Aquaman as the two are swimming, "So, Man 2, Fish Man, mermaids, how do they actually?" Then Aquaman says, "I'm about to commit a sin that will likely destroy all of Atlantis. So swim with your mouth shut." We then go to the Fortress of Solitude with Superman, Steel, and the Flash. Then Steel looks up and says, "What the? Superman, tell me that isn't the antenna the anti-monitor used too?" Then Superman says, "It is. Batman hid it here to conduct multiversal energy." Then the Flash says, "Conduct? Look at it. It's about to explode with dark energy." Then Superman says, "That's why we're here, Flash. I realized back at the Oblivion Bar that the coordinates for the Dark Multiverse are not far from the Phantom Zone. Meaning?" Then the Flash says, "Meaning, the Phantom Zone might be a preamble membrane between our reality and the Dark Multiverse. Huh?" Then, as Superman activates the Phantom Zone projector, he says, "Maybe if we open up a portal with the Phantom Zone projector, while we supercharge the antenna with the Speed Force, Steel's connection to Nth Metal might create an energy link to the Dark Multiverse and Batman himself." Then Flash says, "You really think Steel's compass is pointing to Batman? That he's become some part of this battery they're gonna turn on?" Then Superman says, "There's nothing darker than making a hero, the lever for evil. Yes, I do." Then Steel says, "Then why haven't they used him yet?" Then Superman replies, "Maybe he's fighting them, Steel, but if they activate the circuit and we sink, Barbados will be able to open portals to infinite worlds of nightmare." Then Steel says, "Then what the hell are we waiting for?" Then Superman says, "The antenna, John, if it's too much." Then Steel says, "I'm a man of science, Clark, but I took my name from a steel driver, and no machine is gonna get the best of me. So all that's left to say is ready, set, go!" Then, as Superman and Flash start running, Superman says, "Fast as you can, Barry!" Then Flash says, "I'm going, but I need to know, what was the code you, Diana, and Bruce had?" We then see dark energy coming out of Steel, as Superman tells Flash, "It was simple, based on our names. If I was in trouble, I'd send a DB. For Diana and Bruce, Diana's call was BC. For Bruce and Clark, Bruce's was..." Then Flash says, "CD, I get it, but Carpe Diem?" Then Superman says, "I felt it, Barry. He was calling for help." Then Steel shouts, "It's working! Do it now!" Then the Flash shouts, "I hope you're right, Clark. Now go!" Then, dark energy begins shooting out of Steel, and Speed Force lightning shoots out of Flash as they both strike the Phantom Zone portal. Then, as Superman flies through the portal, surrounded by Speed Force energy, he says, "I'm coming for you, Bruce. It's not over yet." We then go back to the Oblivion Bar with the Dark Knights, where the Dawnbreaker says, "But if they get where they're going?" Then the Batman Who Laughs takes a shot and says, "Dawnbreaker, go put the song on the jukebox." Then the Dawnbreaker says, "What number, sir?" Then the Batman Who Laughs says, "B66. Then the Dawnbreaker puts a coin into the jukebox and says, "Okay, but the flames." Then the Batman Who Laughs says, "Fire can't stop good music, kid. Good music travels across space and time, even death." We then see Superman breaking through the Phantom Zone and into the Dark Multiverse as he says, "It's working! I'm almost there! I can see it! It's..." We then see the Dawnbreaker as he says, "It's beautiful." Then the Batman Who Laughs says, "Like I said, good music! This song is our masterpiece!" Then, as Superman is breaking through the Dark Multiverse, he says, "So close! It's going to work! It will! It's not a... trap!" We then see a Tower of Bodies in the Dark Multiverse, surrounded by dark energy. Then, a decayed body, wearing a Superman suit, grabs a hold of Clark and shouts, "Finally! You've arrived!" Then Superman shouts, "No! Stop! Let me!" Then the other decayed Superman grabs a hold of Clark and says, "You're here! We've been waiting so long! Just waiting for you!" Superman then shouts in a rage, "This can't be happening!" Then a voice calls out from behind Superman, saying, "Clark! Clark, why? I warned you! Then Clark looks over and sees that it's Bruce Wayne, attached to the Tower of Bodies. Only now he's drained of his energy and aged many years over. Superman then says, Bruce, I heard your call. You used the code. Then Batman tells Clark, word images, all his. The music, Clark. I tried to tell you, Diana, Dick, through the music. The only way to communicate across the multiverse. Vibrations, the note of the song our sons played. Starts D, then C. The reverse of my code. It was a warning, Clark. I was saying don't come here. We then see the Batman who laughs at the Oblivion bar as he takes a shot. Then he says, one for the electrics, and one last drink for you, Clark. A Superman, an import of the highest quality. Down you go. Then in the dark multiverse, Superman shouts, no, it can't be a trap. It can't be. Then Batman says, it was what they wanted all along. Your cells. You're the real battery, Clark. The circuit is complete. He was right. Don't you see? In the end, all roads lead back to Barbados. And now the world will sink into darkness. And that ends today's story. Comic published by DC Comics. All rights, story art, and characters belong to DC Comics and their respective owners. Not me. This is Ben, Dark Knight's Metal 3, and I'm your host, Keith One Shot. If you like this video, make sure to check out the rest of my Comic Complete dramatic reading series and support DC Comics by picking up a copy of the trades and single issue comics. Support your local comic book shop. Take care and have a great day. Goodbye.